everyone, welcome to the Sasquatch Archives. I have quite the treat for you for this video. We're going to harken back to, well, 1969, and coincidentally I'm wearing a shirt, as you can see, compliments of Lyle Blackburn. Hopefully you can see that. And it's the Lake Worth Monster. Lyle has written and published a book recently with the same title. I would strongly recommend that you pick up a copy. It's very well written. And coincidentally, what happened in the Lake Worth area happened at the same time as something that you're going to see today, 1969. And in particular, I'm going to show you a video that really hasn't seen the light of day online, at least. Very few people have this video. Very few people even know about it. But you're going to see it today in 3 parts. Well, you're not going to see it all today in 3 parts, but you're going to see eventually 3 parts because it's so long and my video software has been causing me issues, so I'm breaking it up into 3 parts. And basically, for those who don't know, back in 1969, some footprints were found, commonly referred to as the cripple footprints, in the area of Bossburg, Washington. And a couple people were involved, but most notoriously Ivan Marks, who some people deem as a hoaxer. However, the footprints, the cripple footprints, there's a lot of controversy about those. Grover Krantz really spoke highly of them. And you're going to see some interesting things said by René Dahinden, who actually revisited the site of the footprint find back in June of 1989. And this is part 1 of the video where he goes back and he walks you through what he saw and the circumstances surrounding the find. It's very interesting. Please consider watching all 3 parts because it gets more interesting, I think, the deeper it goes. And the 3rd part actually shows Ivan Marks' old house, which I find fascinating to see things like that. It was abandoned in 89, but nonetheless, you get to see where Ivan Marks lived. Anyhow, let's start the video, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will be stopping intermittently to add some commentary, some review, and some reaction. So I hope that you get something out of that. Enjoy.
Just stay. Let's go. Boss, the thing up there where the tracks were found just up the road a couple of miles. So we might as well do that.
Like this, there was no dip in here. Oh.
Yeah.
You know what we should do?
You know, the nerve of some people's children, especially by name of Dahinden.
Are you coming or are you standing there strapping on your equipment?
It don't look like I'm coming.
We're not going very far.
I gotta bring my goddamn...
Come on over here and I'll start telling you the story. Here,
I don't...
come on here. Okay. I came to Bossburg about November the 25th of 69. We do this kind of backwards. We should have come up this main road, then you see the sign Bossburg where we live.
Yeah.
So you probably have to put it in backwards on your, reverse it. Okay.
No problem.
Also I did, so I came here and we were running around, went up through Sweets Pass over here and down. What I finally did was one of this November, was one of this winter or fall, whatever you call it, where one day it was freezing, the next day it was raining, the next day it was warm, you know, and the snow melted on and off up here. There were 4 or 5 inches down here, about 2 inches, you see. So I finally decided I'm gonna put, we're gonna go down here later, I'm gonna put bait out here. So I went to the butcher shop in Caldwell and got a whole bunch of meat cuttings and fat. That went along. One of them was in here. The bush wasn't that thick here. It was more open, you know, this front bush here. One of them here, one of them further up, one of them further up, quite a ways up, all along, you see. And I think I had some of them up there. I didn't tell anybody where they are as such. Okay. So that particular morning, and, well, anyway, there were all these damn tracks around of either bobcats or coyotes. You see, going along here, you know, all over. And I said to Ivan Marks, I said, look, he was hunting bobcats at the time and getting them and skinning them and selling the skin, you see.
So just so everyone knows, we have a few people that are shown here. Of course, René Dahinden in blue. He's the one that will be doing the talking and has been doing the talking for the most part. Art Kappa, who was a researcher who was pretty involved around that time in late 80s through to the mid 90s. He's in the white shirt. And then we have an individual by the name of Mark Francis. He was another researcher who was deeply involved around the same time as Art Kappa, and Mark Francis also wrote at least 2 books that I'm aware of. He was researching, or based out of Ohio, a fellow musician like myself, and Mark and I were in touch a little bit, and maybe we will get in touch further because we never really connected. We wanted to talk on the phone and have a video chat, but it just our schedules wouldn't align. So Mark, if you're watching this, let's connect, okay? Anyhow, for those who don't know, Ivan Marks is someone who's been mentioned here, and Ivan Marks, for those who don't know, was a big game hunter. He was a cinematographer. He claimed to have been hired and employed by Disney. I don't know whether that's true or not. John Green called him the biggest yarn spinner in California. Although we're certain that Ivan Marks did definitely fake and hoax some video footage. It's pretty clear that he did. We're not sure about these Bossburg footprints. At least some aren't sure. Some are convinced because Ivan Marks was involved that the prints must be hoaxed. But you will soon see that it's maybe not quite that easy to jump to that conclusion with what René Dahinden is going to show you and speak about. But anyways, Ivan Marks, he made a few documentaries. He was Tom Biscardi's mentor, let's say. And Ivan Marks was even involved in the Pacific Northwest expedition back in the early 60s, late 50s. So he was quite involved, quite notorious, quite infamous, let's say. He passed away several years back. I believe his wife Peggy is still alive, but I may be mistaken about that. Anyways, let's continue, and you'll see what René is referring to here, and where he goes with discussion and where he goes with his feet. It's very interesting. Stay tuned.
Said, look up here, there are all these damn tracks. Some of them I couldn't tell what they were. I just didn't pay too much attention. I said, they look like bobcats, could be coyotes. So anyway, I said, look, that particular day, December the 13th, I said to him, let's go up here and I show them to you. To come back a little bit on the 12th, 2 of us and myself, we drove up to Canada, hit the trail. I don't know why we went there. I think we talked to the press. We thought we're going to talk to them. If there are any reports further up here, we might get, you know. So on that night, we came back driving down this road. There was no snow on the road, but there was snow on the side. And in that day, the snow was about that deep. And it was warm enough that it was thawing in the daytime, and at night it froze. See, so as we drove along here, and as we went north, some railroad guys were working on here cleaning up the ice out of the tracks here. So we drove through here 9, 10 o'clock, well 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. The road was glittering, you know, with the icicles on the pavement. But really wasn't icy, just in the, you know. So anyway, next morning we came here and we were parked right here. I thought it was over there, but it must have been right here. We drove, I said to Ivan, drive in here. So we drove in here. I said to him, I was sitting in his Volkswagen thing and another, this Jim, whatever, in the back. I said, go over there by them trees there, that's where my cache is. Me cache, go and have a look. And I was sitting here stuffing my pipe like I now, you know, and Ivan walked in there, came running back and said, Bigfoot tracks. And the first thing I said to him, bullshit. You know, I thought, that guy, what the hell? You know, I said, bullshit. He said, no, really. And he hopped in the vehicle and I kind of looked at down the road we went back home, you know, I got my gun and I got my other camera and I might this and I might that. We burned up this bloody road and over here was a car parked or something. And thus we came back, we saw him going that way. I said to Jim, I said, you see if you recognize him. I marked down the license plate. Keep your eyes open so I don't miss anything. So we marked down the license plates, you know.
René talks about stopping in the area that we see, and he gives the impression that Ivan didn't know when or where René would ask him to stop, because he was in Ivan's Volkswagen. What I wonder though, and I don't know if anyone ever asked René this, because in this video he talks about finding what he thought maybe were bobcat or coyote prints and leaving a food catch there. I wonder if he had told Ivan that he'd done that. I don't know, it's not clear. Because if he did tell Ivan that he'd left the food there to bait the bobcats, presumed bobcats, then Ivan would have known that René was going to go back to that area. But it's just not clear. But if we presume that Ivan didn't know, then it makes you wonder, if you're of the mind that the footprints were faked, how would anyone know that René was going to stop there? So that's something that we just don't know, and it remains a mystery. Normally, I would think that a hoaxer would want to leave, you know, whatever they hoax in plain sight or close to it. And you'll see that the footprints, I don't want to get ahead of the video here, but the footprints go pretty far back and do some unusual things to be found easily, at least. Anyways, let's continue, and there'll be more discussions and more information that will come forth that should be interesting to most.
We came here, okay, then let's follow it. We came here, got out of the vehicle, and then we started back. This is quite remote, you know, the next village is about 15, 20 miles up the road, and the next one is Pebble Falls down there, you know, which is what away now, 10, 15 miles. Okay, whatever it is. So, well, yeah, okay, we can walk in here thinking we're here anyway, right? We might as well see, shit isn't going to stick on your pants now. Where it must have been further, there's a road here. Okay, let's walk down here a little. That must have been
the old railroad side.
Railroad. See, I can't quite remember anymore. Either it was here or a little further over here. But anyway, the track started here, you see? And there you could see, by here, I mean, it might have been further down. You know, maybe 50 feet, 100 feet. See how steep it is down here? Going down to the Columbia River, you see? There was no snow on here, but you could see scuff marks. I mean,
Where something had gone down.
And the track started up here, like I say, probably a little bit further down. Came along here and went across there where our truck is. There was kind of bare there. I show you, you know. So they came up here. And you know how steep it is here, you know. Shit. really steep. It's what, 200 feet down there? No.
Yeah, it's pretty close, 100,
Whatever.
200, you know, pretty close.
Something that I neglected to mention a few minutes back was that René had noticed there was a car parked across the road, and he noted the license plate number. Why that car was there is anyone's guess. Could it have been something to do with someone involved in hoaxing? Could it just have been they stopped because they wondered why these people were at the side of the road? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I just don't know. But René talks about, you know, the footprints, how they're meandering through the bush here, and how they went down what appears to be a fairly steep embankment, and Art Kappa estimates it's probably 100 feet down. You know, if you're wearing wooden stompers, I just don't know how easily you could go down an embankment that probably had some snow on it, because René said there was some snow on the ground. Seems a little treacherous. I don't know. Let's continue and we'll see where this goes. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I know the first time I saw this video, I was like, wow. So hopefully there's a bit of wow factor for you as well.
So anyway, okay. Hey,
That's
look at
super
this skeleton here.
Yeah.
Of what?
Hawk or, oh, that's a, who the hell knows? Groundhog
Is
or,
that the skull over there? No.
no. Small ribs, could be a rabbit.
Yeah. Okay. So the tracks came along here. You see? Tracks came through the snow here. And I guess there was more snow here because the sun melted it out, you know, right? There was no snow right over here. Well, there was some, but I think also there was some vehicle tracks here because before I think 2000, you know how the ice patch could retain rail because all day. Anyway, we parked here. I thought it was over there.
There isn't very much room over there.
No. Let me see. Whatever. Come on over here. The tracks went through here. This shit wasn't here before, okay?
That's all young stuff.
That's okay, you filming?
That's
Yeah.
only, that's only
Okay.
a couple of years old.
The tracks came through here. Okay, all through the snow here. What's the goddamn fence? Oh, way in there. Okay, the tracks came through here. Might be a little bit over here. It certainly isn't over here. She went all through here, through the snow. Oh, very clearly. I think it's over here.
I try to get in front so I can hear his
That's
voice.
hard, 'cause you don't always raise
And
that
the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
So I found underneath some of this trees. The tracks came across here. Like I say, might have been there, might have been here. No, I don't know. I thought they were only that high, the fence.
Well, that's new fence anyway.
I thought they were about 40 inches, which is this high. Okay? The tracks went across here, and underneath some trees, like I say, it might have been over here, there was a hollow area in the snow. And also, what we found here was that, and that's a puzzler to me, that the wet snow, the tracks must, if they're real, they must have been made 8, 9, 10 at night, when the snow was still wet, before it really froze, you know. Yeah, must have been, because as the tracks came along and squeezed the wet snow, then it froze, and you could take a scissor and cut out the whole
After
snow.
it froze.
Remember Green's book, Ivan Marks hold up a piece of snow track?
Track, yeah.
The tracks went across, and in here we found where the snow piled up under the front foot, and I guess got kicked off, and you had the big toe, or either was the left or right foot. You saw this clump of snow with the 4 toes on it. With the 4 snow.
Yeah.
And imagine, we didn't even pick it up. I said to Ivan, we went across, the tracks went up there, and I said to Ivan, now we get the son of a bitch. Now we got the son of a bitch, we're gonna walk him down.
That's going to be the end of part 1. Again, I'm breaking up this video into 3 parts because it's there's a lot of material here. It's a good, I think, 30 minutes just on its own, and I know that most people's attention span max 10 to 20 minutes, and plus I've been dealing with some issues with my video software. It's having trouble rendering. The longer the video, the more the likelihood of it not rendering, so I have to just break it up to make this happen. Anyhow, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that the audio is not great because you're dealing with an old Handycam, and there's some serious wind at times in the video, and there's times when the camera operator, who I forgot to mention, Doug McCoy, he's sometimes behind René, and so you can't really hear René speaking. Doug McCoy was a good friend of our Kappa. He was involved in Sasquatch research, maybe not as thoroughly as Mark Francis or Art was, but nonetheless he was around. And just what I find is if I crank the video volume, I can hear it a little better, but there are times where you just can't hear what René's saying. It's not that often, but there are a few moments. I don't think you're missing anything in particular. But check out part 2 because it gets even more interesting. You're gonna like it if you're a Sasquatch research freak like I am, or if you're just interested in Sasquatch and the 1969 Cripplefoot case. Some very interesting things are spoken by René. Stay tuned. Thanks.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.